Wenatchee Valley. Dan Kuntz, your host. Thanks for starting your day and your week with us here on the NCW Life Channel. It's a Monday. You know what that means around here for Mondays. I'm here. I'm working. Megan is here. She's working. Jane is here. She's working, but we're not working real hard. Quick heads up on that. No, we are. We're working hard. We got a lot of things to get to, a lot of news to get to. The weather forecast is kind of typical January. Yeah, some light snow coming down outside of our studios, some freezing fog. We're at 27 degrees, and the lows and the highs aren't going to move very much. We have an air stagnation advisory, as a matter of fact, that kicked in over the weekend. It's going to last till at least 7 o'clock on Wednesday. It's the same scenario we have pretty much every January. I can't remember the last January we didn't have this, which is essentially a big ridge of high pressure has established itself. It's centered right over central Washington. The clouds and the fog were already here when it decided to pay us a visit, the high pressure ridge I'm talking about, and so it traps the clouds and the fog here on the valley floor. There's no place for the dirty air to go, so it comes up, it hits the lid, and comes right back down again. So an air stagnation advisory in effect until Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Also a stage 1 burn ban is in effect. So very stagnant air, nothing's going to stir the pot, so we're going to be stuck with this for, a couple of days anyway. And then we have a system coming in on Thursday. It's going to bring us some snow. Forecast details are coming up. We'll also take a look at your past report, also your Monday morning headlines. We have some roundabout news, both literally and figuratively, from our friends at East Wenatchee. We'll get to that. Also, we'll wrap up the weekend that was in sports. Good weekend for the Wenatchee boys basketball team. They are now firmly entrenched in first place in the Columbia Basin Big Nine after beating West Valley, the boys I'm talking about, on Friday, and then Moses Lake on Saturday. Wenatchee Wild split it 2 over the weekend. We'll also have your NFL playoff results when we get to sports. We have a very ironic, obscure holiday of the day. That's coming up. Also, we have today in history birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion in the second half of the program live in this studio because they have late start. Today, they're not going to miss any class. I'm talking about Riley Bergan and Connor Sundet. They are 2 cast members, Les Miserables, which is the Eastmont drama production, which is coming up. I think it opens up Monday, Tuesday, the 17th, whatever day the 17th is. So 2 cast members from Les Miserables will be joining me in this studio in the second half of the program. Over 60 kids participating in this production. It's going to be really good. That's going to be a great conversation. You don't want to miss that. All right, let's get busy. Lots to get to on this Monday. At 3 minutes after the hour, let's take you around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. Downtown Wenatchee gets to do the honors today. As we mention this on a regular basis when we have overcast skies and the fog and the clouds are low. As far as elevation is concerned, it kind of limits our cameras. All of our cameras are up and running, but sometimes you just can't see anything because they're socked in with the clouds and the fog, so we have to use some of our lower cameras, and that's one of those. From the roof of the Cascadian, pointing north, Wenatchee Avenue to your right, and Mission to your left as the morning commute is underway on this Monday. Camera 2, where are we going, Megan? Megan says the Arundel Rock camera might be a good place to visit, so that's exactly what we're doing. And it seems sort of odd that looks so much brighter than the other cameras, but that's just the way some of these cameras work. That, of course, is Lake Antioch, which is dominating your view. Turtle Rock, Rocky Ridge Dam to your right, and tucked behind Turtle Rock is the Wenatchee Valley proper. And as you can see, a little bit of snow in the foothills that we got overnight tonight. That was not in the forecast. It's just super light snow with a very heavy frost. Wasn't expecting that. Wasn't in the forecast. Camera number 3 is going to be a slow dissolve to Kashmir. And the Apple Annie's camera, that gives you a good idea of the fog and the clouds. They're hanging pretty low. We're still a ways from sunset, sunrise, I should say. Sunrise about 7:44. Sunset's getting a little bit later each day. No big dramatic change in the daylight. We're just getting longer days by about 20 seconds a pop, but we'll take it. Good morning, Kashmir. Finally, camera 4. Where are we going, Megan? Megan says Omi Gardens. And Omi Gardens is what we got. That's a nice view there. Otabashian Bridge looking pretty quiet. Don't see a lot of headlights there. And as the cars come down and cross over the bridge, I don't see a lot of problems at all. Of course, it's Monday. It's a lighter commute. The Wenatchee and Eastmont school districts have a late start on Monday. That makes it easier. And a lot of people, of course, just take Monday off. They work Saturdays, and so their weekend is Sunday and Monday. So traffic is always a little bit lighter on Mondays. And good morning to Omi Gardens. All right, 5 minutes after the hour. It is Monday from the National Weather Service. Let's take a look at your forecast. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, we have an air stagnation advisory. It's in effect until 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Also a stage 1 burn ban. We'll talk more about that when we get to your news headlines. So basically, a very strong high pressure ridge and all that pollutants that go up in the air has no place to go. So most of the lower elevations all over eastern Washington are going to be dealing with this stagnant air. The air quality is going to get worse before it gets better, even with the stage 1 burn ban, because we still have carbon monoxide and other things that go up into the atmosphere. So very dry, very stable, all the way through Tuesday and into Wednesday, low clouds and fog. And then on Thursday, we finally have another weather system that's going to pay us a visit. It's going to actually start coming in Wednesday night. We have an 80% chance of precipitation on Wednesday night, 30% during the day, 80% on Wednesday night. Not going to get a lot of snow, but we could get 1 to 2 inches of snow on Thursday, especially Thursday morning, but it should change over to rain. And you can see that forecast high of 39, so whatever snow we get Wednesday night into Thursday morning is not going to last very long. The one constant that you see throughout the course of that forecast all the way through Sunday is no sunshine. That's what happens when you have that stagnant weather pattern that pays us a visit. And again, it's if you've spent any amount of time here in the Wenatchee Valley, this is pretty typical for January. And those afternoon high temperatures for the next couple of days, just about normal, a little below normal. You see there's very little temperature variation at all. In fact, yesterday's high, Sunday's high was 31, low was 28. So the thermostat doesn't really go too far. So there you go. There's your forecast. Gradually warming up with a chance of snow, measurable snow Thursday morning, switching over to rain on Thursday afternoon. 7 minutes after the hour, I'll stick you up to the major mountain passes where we got nothing to report. I love it when I can tell you that. Heading up through the Cascades today, your biggest concern is going to be fog. Really, visibility is the only issue. Roadways are fine. That's a live shot of I-90. No advisories, no restrictions. The roadway's pretty much bare and dry. Again, you'll run into some fog banks as you climb up the pass and then climb down the other side, but the roadway themselves is fine. Stevens Pass, let's take a live shot of US 2. A couple of patches of frost and ice in places. Outside of that, clear skies on Stevens Pass. No advisories, no restrictions, and wouldn't you know it, Blewett will complete the sweep. No advisories, no restrictions, some patches of frost and ice in places. Clear skies on Blewett, clear skies on Stevens, some patchy fog in places on I-90. You want sunshine? Go up, because they're going to get sunshine. All the passes are going to be above the fog and the clouds, with the exception of I-90. I-90 is going to be right at that fog cloud bank, but Blewett and Stevens, since they're above 4,000 feet, they're going to be up there. So you're taking Blewett and Stevens, or either one of those, you're going to deal with some clear skies. No snow at all in the forecast until, just like us, Wednesday night into Thursday when that system comes in. But even on Thursday for the mountain passes, we're expecting a couple of inches of snow Thursday morning. That's all they're expecting, 2 of the mountain passes. 2, maybe 3 inches of snow, that's it. So a very dry weather pattern for the Cascades. No advisories, no restrictions, and none expected on Snoqualmie Pass, Stevens Pass, and Blewett Pass. It is 8.5 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break. When we come back, it's your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 1 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
Everything we do is about delivering very high quality care and keeping our patients safe.
We really work as a team here, and so that's really what makes it worthwhile.
I give 100% every day, and I do that because I work for a company that I believe gives 100% back to me.
The bottom line is we genuinely care about our employees.
It is the most incredible place to work, and you will be inspired every day.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Overcast, freezing fog, and some spittles of snow, 27 degrees. Outside of our studios will be just about the freezing mark with some stagnant air And, well, that's what it is. Let's take a look at your Monday morning headlines. Two 13-year-old boys have died from injuries suffered in an August crash in Kittitas County. The Washington State Patrol has released updated information on the crash that occurred when a 51-year-old Seattle man crashed his SUV down an embankment. This happened about 3 miles east of Cle Elum. State troopers say the two 13-year-old boys were passengers in the car. They were both injured. They were transported to Children's Hospital and then Harborview Medical Center, where they died. A third passenger, a 12-year-old boy, was killed on the August 27th accident. The driver, 51-year-old David Cohen of Seattle, is set to be tried for vehicular homicide in May. A fourth child passenger was also injured but has since recovered. Well, a Stage 1 burn ban was put into effect Sunday in Chelan, Douglas, Ferry, Kittitas, Okanagan, Pend Oreille, and Stevens counties. All outdoor and indoor burning has been limited to improve air quality during this period of stagnant air. Restrictions on burning will continue until further notice. Under a Stage 1 burn ban, all outdoor burning is prohibited. That includes residential, agricultural, and forest burning. Use of uncertified wood stoves, fireplaces, inserts, and other uncertified wood burning devices are prohibited unless they are your home's only adequate source of heat. Cleaner burning certified wood stoves, such as pellet stoves and other certified wood burning devices, are still allowed. Well, with the new year came new federal rules that require all hospitals in the nation to publicly post the costs of all their services and materials. For Wenatchee-based Confluence Health, that means 3 different lengthy lists for healthcare facilities, and all the ones that they operate, and that includes, of course, Central Washington Hospital, and another for their medication prices. Our very own news director, Cal Fitzsimmons, talked with Confluence Chief Financial Officer John Doyle about how they put this list together.
I'm with John Doyle, the Chief Financial Officer for Confluence Health. And as of January 1st, all hospitals in the country were required to list the prices for their services and goods. Everything from the cost of a single aspirin to a heart bypass surgery. John, what was that process like?
Well, I would say we spent most of the year just trying to understand Medicare's rule around this pricing transparency. The actual process of compiling the information and posting it on our internet was actually a pretty quick process. Again, when the rule first came out, guidance was gray. Hospitals had a lot of questions on what it should look like, where it needs to be at on your internet, what does need to be included and what doesn't. So that was really the lengthy process of trying to identify what exactly Medicare meant with this rule.
What did you learn by going through all of this?
Really, I think it's very, very difficult to translate this information to what a patient's ultimate out-of-pocket might be. Patient estimates and patients' out-of-pockets, it's really a function of what services are provided, potentially a combination of services. You have supplies, you have drugs, you have facility fees, professional fees. It's also a function of insurance coverage. Medicaid, Medicare, obviously they have their own benefit design, they have their own copays and coinsurances, commercial plans, depending what you sign up for, deductibles, maximum out-of-pockets. So it's, again, very, very difficult to take this information and translate that into what a patient might ultimately have to pay out of pocket.
If someone goes to your site and sees the cost for something like a hip replacement surgery, is the price they see there going to be what they pay ultimately?
Absolutely not. That's our standard charge. Again, depending what insurance coverage they have, there are pre-negotiated rates with the health plans, commercial plans. Medicare and Medicaid pay us on their fee schedules, which are not negotiated. Those are set by the governments. So really, again, no relationship between our standard charges and ultimately what a patient might pay out of pocket.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Is there anything else to add about this change?
No, I understand about the concern about transparency and pricing. Again, I don't think this comes close to getting us to where we need to be, but I hope it's a step in the right direction.
Thank you very much, Cal, for that report. Plans for 2 new traffic roundabouts in East Wenatchee continue to move forward, you might say in a roundabout way, but that's not sitting well with Mayor Steve Lacy. He voiced some frustrations about the project's slow progress at Thursday's Chelan-Douglas Transportation Council meeting. The city and the DOT have been working together for the past year on 2 roundabouts planned for the intersections of Highway 28 and 9th Street and at 9th Street and Valley Mall Parkway. But the plans were put on hold due to higher than expected costs as well as traffic issues with a 3rd roundabout now in use at the east side of the Senator George Seller Bridge. The DOT is currently studying the traffic flows on 9th Street and Highway 28 and how it all integrates with the existing 5th Street roundabout. But Mayor Steve Lacy says he's not sure where the project's headed.
Yeah, we've been waiting a long time for DOT to complete their studies and give us some idea of what they think is the proper configuration and approach to traffic movement down 9th Street and out onto the highway. That was complicated last year by the 5th Street project and some of the backups that occurred as a result. So we kind of had to go back to the drawing board on that issue. So now we're really not clear where we're looking at roundabouts or a couple lights in sequence. There's a funding issue with the Transportation Council that we talked about this morning. And so we still got a lot of planning to do, but I'm still hopeful that with some of the state money and federal money that we've actually had committed, that we can use it and complete that project sooner rather than later. But I suspect we're a few years away yet from the completion of whatever project now comes to fruition.
DOT officials reported at Thursday's meeting that the study should be completed later this spring with a final recommendation to follow soon afterwards. And that's what's making news on this Monday morning. What makes news on this Monday? You can find out tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock with our evening newscast. Grant Olson in the anchor chair, also handling your weather forecast. I'll be filling in once again today for sports with Eric Granstrom. Eric is on assignment. I'll be handling your sports report. So Grant Olson with the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock right here on this very television station. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com just about 5 o'clock in the evening. You can also watch it via our Facebook page. Again, just about 5 o'clock in the evening, you'll see it pop up. Click on the icon. It takes you to the link, and it's down the road you go. And speaking of that, you can watch any of our shows. We've archived almost everything from sporting events to 12th District 2.0 to this program to Live It Up to Street Talk and other stuff with Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, Life with Lisa Bradshaw, the whole 9 yards. There's a local show that you like. You can watch it whenever you want by going to our website and just click on the Watch Us button. It's pretty self-explanatory from there. You can also use our website to get a hold of us. There's a Contact Us icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, so click on that and we'll get it. All right, ncwlife.com. You can also go to our Facebook page and private message us. A lot of people prefer to do it that way, and that's fine. We get it. And you can also email us, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. We'd love to hear from you and hear from you, our viewers, at 19 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike McNaughty's opinion. And 2 cast members of the Eastmont Drama Club's production of Les Miserables will be joining me in the second half of the program. You're watching a Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Put winter weather in its place with a new Cub Cadet snow thrower from Rose Tractor. Hi, this is Corey. Let us help you get through the season with our line of Cub Cadet snow throwers. When it comes to snow, never let winter weather get in your way. The Cub Cadet X Series line of snow throwers offers 3 levels of snow clearing power and a host of award-winning models. Get ahead of the snow. Let us help you get into the right snow thrower for the job. Rose Tractor, family owned and operated, located at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, 20 minutes after the hour. Let's take a look at sports, and we'll start out with our high school Les Schwab scoreboard from over the weekend. We'll start out with Friday night girls basketball. Sunnyside got the better of Eastmont. Sunnyside's a good program. Down there in Sunnyside, they took care of the Eastmont Wildcats in girls basketball, 69-50. The Wenatchee Lady Panthers fell way behind to a West Valley team. Made a nice third quarter comeback, but it simply wasn't enough. West Valley Rams over the Lady Panthers on Friday night, 64-41. How about boys basketball on Friday night? Eastmont got the better of Sunnyside on the road. That's never an easy place to go to, 76-59. And the Wenatchee Panthers defeated West Valley in a battle of first place. That's not a mistake, 50-28. 28 is all West Valley scored. A couple of remarkable stats. The Wenatchee Panthers outscored West Valley 20-2 in the third quarter. And as a matter of fact, West Valley did not make a field goal for the entire second half. They scored 7 points in the entire second half, all of them on free throws. A great defensive effort for the Wenatchee Panthers as they took over first place with that victory on Friday night. Let's talk about girls basketball on Saturday. The Wenatchee Panthers on the road to take on State Power in Moses Lake. As you can see, the Chiefs had no problems with the young Panthers, 67-29. That's Saturday in girls basketball. Girls basketball, small schools on Friday. Kashmir rolled all over Okanagan. Okanagan only scored 2 points in the first quarter, and Kashmir rolled from there, 64-14. Again, this is CTL action on Friday. Also, Omak over Cascade, and Soap Lake defeated Manson, and Liberty Bell over Waterville Mansfield for small school basketball on Friday. Boys basketball Friday, again with the small schools and Caribou Trail League action. Okanagan got the better of Kashmir, 72-67. Omak over Cascade, 64-48. Manson over Soap Lake, 61-56. And Waterville Mansfield defeated Liberty Bell by just a point, 50-49. Girls basketball Saturday, the small schools. Kashmir got the better of Chelan in their rival game, 58-25. And Waterville Mansfield over Soap Lake in girls basketball on Saturday, 64-20. Boys basketball on Saturday in the small schools. Kashmir over Chelan, 76-70. And Waterville Mansfield over Soap Lake, 37 to Soap Lake scored 31. Apparently that didn't make it onto the slide. Let's talk Wenatchee Wild hockey. Oops, that's the divisional play. Well, we can do that too. We'll do our divisional playoffs. There's your results from over the weekend. The Chiefs knock off the Colts 31-13. First playoff victory for the Kansas City Chiefs in something like 20 years at home anyway. Rams got the better of the Cowboys at the Coliseum 30-22. Patriots advanced to their 8th consecutive conference championship game. They rolled over the Chargers 41-28. The game wasn't even that close. The Saints nipped the Eagles 20-14, so the Eagles will not be defending their Super Bowl champion. So there you go. That's the NFL divisional playoffs. Let's go back to the Wenatchee Wild. No problems with Alberni Valley on Friday. The final was 3-0 there. But on Saturday, Victoria Grizzlies scored a goal just 40 seconds into the game. The Wenatchee Wild never led after that. Victoria scored an empty netter, by the way, at the end. But the final there was 3-1. And what else do we have visually wise? There's your conference championship games. That's what you have to look forward to on Sunday. It is the Rams at the Mercedes-Benz Dome in New Orleans taking on the Saints, 12:05 kickoff on Fox, and it'll be followed by the Patriots and the Chiefs at 3:40 on CBS. Once again, the Patriots are off to the AFC Championship game for the 8th consecutive year. And finally, our broadcast schedule for this week, that's what we have for you. Tomorrow, we'll have the Pasco and Eastmont basketball doubleheader from back on December 18th. That was a great game. We'll have that at 7 o'clock. It's, of course, hockey night here on the NCW Live channel. We'll have the Alberni Valley Wenatchee game from Friday night. You can watch that Thursday at 7 o'clock. And then Friday, we're live at the Eastmont High School Gymnasium with Grant Olson on the call as the Eisenhower Cadets come to town. The girls will get going at about 5:45. The boys at about 20 minutes to follow. That's your broadcast sports schedule for this week here on the NCW Live channel. And at 24 minutes after the hour, it's time for the obscure holiday. This is so ironic. Today is Organize Your Home Day. And I wish it was yesterday. I really do, because it's one of those, I had a couple of projects I wanted to do around the house yesterday morning, and I can't find the stuff I need to do the project. I know I have them. I have this hammer, and I have this screwdriver, and I have this measuring tape, and I can't find them anywhere. And it was very frustrating. I don't know where I put them. So I ended up going down to a local hardware store. I'm not going to mention the name of the store because I told Stans I wouldn't. But I went down and I ended up having to buy the things that I needed, even though I already had them. And then I got back to my house and I was looking for other things, and boom, there it is. I found the stuff that I needed. So now I have 2 hammers and 2 Phillips head screwdrivers and 2 and so I just got so frustrated I decided just to organize my house. Now, organizing your house and cleaning your house, that's 2 entirely different things, but usually one leads to the other. Yeah, so it's very frustrating when you have to go out and buy new things to replace the things that you can't find when you know you have them, and then you end up finding them anyway. So I really got busy yesterday afternoon, and I really helped organize. And I found some stuff I forgot I had, which was nice to have as well. So today is Organize Your Home Day, which is perfect. If you're taking Monday off, it's kind of a gray day anyway. Throw some music on the stereo or pop on the headphones and start organizing your house. And again, if you want to clean your house too, that's fine. Usually one leads to the other, I noticed that. And sure enough, I ended up cleaning some parts of my house on Sunday anyway. So there you go. That's your obscure holiday. 26 minutes after the hour, let's do Today in History. Normally I don't talk about another competing morning television show, but I will in this case. The Today Show debuted 67 years ago today, January 14th, 1952. Nobody had ever done this before, a morning network live show. A lot of people think it wasn't going to work. Well, it worked brilliantly. And the Today Show, for the most part, has been dominating the morning news ratings, with the exception of this program, of course. Dave Garroway, the original host of the Today Show, is 67 years old today. It debuted January 14th, 1952, and it continues to run on the National Broadcasting Company. 2 Super Bowls were played on this date 51 years ago today. Super Bowl II. The Green Bay Packers defeat the Oakland Raiders. The final was 33-14 in Super Bowl II. Ironically enough, this is the only Super Bowl of all the Super Bowls that have been played that footage of the entire game from beginning to end does not exist, either from television, the television broadcast from CBS, or on film. Even though NFL Films was there, they weren't able to film every play from the line of scrimmage. So believe it or not, no footage of the entire Super Bowl II exists anywhere. Hard to believe, isn't it? Super Bowl II was played 51 years ago today. And 46 years ago today, Super Bowl VII was played at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The Miami Dolphins, of course, ended their perfect 17-0 season by winning Super Bowl VII over Washington. The final was 14-7. This remains to this date the lowest scoring Super Bowl to date, only 21 points combined between the 2 teams. And my favorite fun fact about Super Bowl VII, it was the very first Super Bowl to be televised in the city where it was being played. I kid you not. Before this, the previous 6 Super Bowls, the NFL's blackout rules were all-encompassing. It didn't matter whether the game sold out or not. Home games in the NFL were simply not televised. The idea was to drive up ticket sales. They were unconditional blackouts. It seems silly. They sold out every ticket to Super Bowl VII in L.A., and yet the folks in L.A. couldn't watch it. Well, they finally said enough is enough. And for the first time, Super Bowl VII was the first Super Bowl to be broadcast, to be televised in the actual city where it was being played. I kid you not. It's hard to believe that. And finally, at 28 minutes after the hour, we got a couple of celebrity birthdays for you today. One of my favorite actresses, Faye Dunaway, is 78 years old today. First broke onto the scene with Bonnie and Clyde. She was pretty much an unknown. Then she teamed up with Warren Beatty for the classic Bonnie and Clyde. Eventually, Chinatown earned her an Academy Award nomination, and she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for one of the great movies ever, Network. Faye Dunaway, 78 years old today, and Dave Grohl is 50 years old today. Happy birthday, Dave. Of course, he was long associated with Nirvana, and when Nirvana broke up, he formed the Foo Fighters, and he was been out there fighting Foo ever since. Dave Grohl, carrying the rock and roll banner as high as he can. Dave is 50 years old today. Happy birthday, Dave. It is 29 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, everybody is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. Then my conversation with Riley Bergan and Connor Sundet. They are cast members of the Eastmont Drama Club's production of Les Miserables. They're in studio next. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
Antique Mall at Cashmere wishes you a happy and prosperous new year. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone. For repurposing projects, do-it-yourselfers, and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, this is the place to find your next project. Antique Mall at Cashmere, their friendly staff is here to help you. Stop on by today.
Welcome to another edition of Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table.
Outdoorsmen have been providing fresh food for American family tables for generations. Hunting and fishing is a way of life for our family, and we enjoy cooking delicious fish and game meals.
Oh, that's awesome.
We want to share our recipes with you. This is Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table.
Watch for new episodes of Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table, starting Saturday, June 30th on the NCW Live channel.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, many American Christians want a Christian president, one who honors God, prays, seeks divine wisdom, etc. Now, hey, I'm all that too, but we have to understand there are things about leading this country and adhering to the oath of office that don't exactly jive with what Jesus taught us. Seriously. When 9/11 happened, did you really want George W. Bush to go to Osama bin Laden and turn the other cheek? Now, being an American and swearing to defend the Constitution are not mutually compatible with Christianity. Sorry, they're just not. Now, interestingly, we had a president some years ago, a very devout man whose life exemplified his Christian values as much as any of us humans can. And I guess he even continued to teach Sunday school when he was in office. Now, despite this, many right-wing Christians really didn't like him. Yep, Jimmy Carter, go figure. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing honey blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
Only one country can build a truck like this. Designed in California, engineered in Michigan, tested in Arizona, and assembled in Mississippi. Powered by Cummins of Indiana. The all-new Nissan Titan. It's an American classic. Is it on your list? Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
And we're back here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Whenever a local high school theater group, be it Wenatchee or the Eastmont Drama Club and Choir, put together a big show, and they do it all the time, I endeavor to invite a couple of the cast members to visit us on this very program. And by golly, we did it again, thanks to Cynthia and the other gal whose name I forgot, who called me up and reminded me, are you going to book anybody for Les Miserables? And I went, yes, I am. And so courtesy of Cynthia Brown, who said, you got to have Riley and Connor on the show. I said, okay, Cynthia, I'll do just that. Introduce yourselves to our television audience.
Connor Sundet. And I'm Riley Bergan.
And you're both, I guess the first question is, who steals the loaf of bread? Which one of your characters is the bread stealer?
That's me.
That's you,
Jean
okay.
Valjean.
So, but you're not necessarily the lead. For those of you people who don't know the plot, the story synopsis of Les Miserables, give us a synopsis of Les Miserables. Who wants to tackle that? What's the story all about?
I'll go first. So, my name is Inspector Javert in the play. So I am this upright, sturdy guy who really just, when it comes to the law, it's just like, that's all he thinks about. Like he doesn't.
Stickler. He's a by the book stickler, yeah.
He doesn't have any care or remorse for people when they mess up. So for his character who steals a loaf of bread, he puts him in jail for 19 years. So, I mean, it's a little much now thinking about it. But he just, back then, that was what the law was, and it was to be respected, and that's just his personality, just uptight.
Yeah, the play takes place in 19th century France, so we're going back in time quite a bit. And we see a play, but it's more musical than acting, right? There's a lot of singing going on here. Yeah. How many numbers are in it? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, 31, I think. Yeah, something like that.
That's a lot of singing.
Yeah. All sung, no lines.
That's right. That's the key to Les Miserables. And this is the school edition. There are different kinds of versions of Les Miserables, and what is the difference between the school edition and the regular edition?
Well, the school edition, they cut out some like pretty well-known songs. One of them being "The Confrontation," which is, well, if you haven't known, you've probably seen the clip on YouTube of Jason Segel and Neil Patrick Harris singing "The Confrontation" together.
It's still there. It's just cut down a little.
Okay. Talk a little bit about yourselves. You guys known each other for a long time. You're both seniors, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I mean,
Connor.
I've kind of been friends with Riley just the last 2 years, just getting to know him during the shows. I mean, if you came to Little Women last year, he was Presser Bear and I was John Brooks, so we kind of got to know each other there. But it's been really fun acting with him, so we've gotten to know each other. We've just hung out as friends a lot. And we both committed to Whitworth University.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We're going to room there together, so that's going to be really fun. So,
Spokane's a great town.
Yeah.
It really is, the Lilac City. Do you like your character? My guess is your character isn't particularly likable, but...
Well, see, most people think of him as the antagonist of the story. I really don't think that's accurate. I don't think he's in the wrong. I relate to him a lot, actually. I think he sees what he knows is right and he acts on it, and he just goes by what he knows is right. So in Stars, he kind of displays that, which is kind of his big ballad, that, you know, he sees everything in the stars where it should be, and that's just how it is. That's how the world is. So I don't think he's a bad guy. He's not trying to be mean or just vengeful of anything, but
He just doesn't know any other way.
he just doesn't know any other way.
Yeah. And your character, do you like your character?
I really like my character. Yeah. Ever since he's shown compassion and mercy at the beginning of the show, he always just strives to do good and repair the wrongs he's done in the past. And he'll do that at any cost, even if it means him running from Javert for the rest of his life. And he's willing to even let Javert take his own life. But
There
whether
you
that
go.
happens, you'll have to go there to see.
How long you been acting? Right.
I started last year in Little.
Oh, so you're kind of new to the whole
Yeah.
stage scene.
Mhm.
Why'd you decide to try it out?
Well, last year was my first year of chamber choir as well, and the cast and from the musical last year and the other people in the choir, they wanted me to audition for Little Woman really bad, and I said maybe I'll give that a shot, and then auditioned, got the role of Professor Bear, and then it just sort of took off from there. It's just so much fun. I love it.
What was it like the very first time you took the stage and the curtains parted and you're on stage and there's people in the audience and you're doing your thing? The very first time for Little Women, what was that like?
It's a bit nerve-wracking, but it's not as bad as you'd think because the stage lights are just so bright that you can hardly see.
Can't see the audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it puts you into that mode, doesn't it?
Mhm.
The when you auditioned for Les Miserables, did you have your eye on this character? Did you even know what the character was about? Did you have to do some background, or was it just everybody went in and auditioned, and then Cynthia and Tara said you're this and you're this and you're this? How did that work?
Well, over the summer, I did want the role of Jean Valjean, but then as it got closer to the auditions, I was leaning more towards Javert because it's a little bit more towards my vocal range because I'm more bass baritone and Valjean's a very high tenor. But then I just decided to audition for either part and got cast as Valjean.
Second question for you: do you have your eye on a particular character?
I was gunning for Javert for sure. I've known this musical since I was like a little kid. It's the first musical I ever knew. My mom raised me on it. I mean, car rides over anywhere, over the mountains, listen to Les Mis every time. So I always liked Jean Valjean. I kind of liked Marius too. He's a little bit of an airhead when it comes to Eponine. So I mean, I kind of steered away from that. But Javert just always seemed like a good role, and like just he has the most dynamic change, I feel, and I feel that's like the best part of character development.
Yes, yeah. He becomes a somewhat sympathetic character as the story goes on. We need to point that he's not the really bad guy. So Riley's new to theater. What about you, Connor? How long you been on stage?
Well, apart from church musicals, I think I'm in the same boat as him. First musical was Little Women. I really wanted Riley to do Little Women with me, so I wouldn't have to be the only one being super new. But Little Women was also my first one, and I was John Brooke, who was super awkward when he first meets Margaret March, who he takes a liking to. It was hilarious to watch after. He's just like, so yeah.
Quite a bit different than Javert.
Oh, completely different.
Now you guys are on stage a lot, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the adult version of Les Miserables. You're pretty much on stage almost the entire time,
Pretty
right?
much.
That's a lot of work. How many songs did you have to learn? Your blocking where you were at on the stage at any particular time. That must have been very time consuming.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've seen a lot of footage. I'm really into this musical, so I've watched it a lot. So I kind of knew how the character moved around. But trying to like work with what Cynthia she wanted me to be, which is a little tasking at first, but knowing the words and everything was really nice. So it wasn't too difficult, I feel, but blocking is always difficult to get down, of course.
How familiar were you with Les Mis before? Like it sounds like Connor
Definitely
here's
not
the expert.
his extent, but over the summer I did listen to a lot of like the bigger songs. But then when we started rehearsing, there's so many different lines like in between songs that are supposed to be like dialogue that I just did not have committed to memory at all because you don't really think of those lines when you think of Les Mis. You think of like Bring Him Home or Who Am I or Stars or I Dreamed a Dream, not the little parts of it.
So it's January now. When did the auditions take place? Did you know, like last summer, you were going to do Les Mis and you were going to have that role, or was it?
Well, it was really saying like she wanted to do it. We had a lot of strong male leads who were juniors last year, so it's more male dominated, I'd say.
Yeah.
For as far as leads go, so I think that's she was kind of leaning that way, so we were really into it, and I already liked it, of course, as you guys all know. So, I mean, I just went into it and was just totally into Javert, practiced a lot. So that's kind of where I was. That's how I knew. What about you, Riley?
Yeah, our directors went and saw the show on, I believe it was Fifth Avenue, right? Yeah, they went and saw that over the summer to see if we could pull it off, and they ultimately decided that we could. And so auditions were in September, just started singing a lot of the songs over the summer and getting to know the pieces a lot better, and so just prepared that way.
Riley and Connor are the leads, but there's a lot of kids, about 60 of them who are going to be on stage at any point during the course of Les Miserables. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the other cast members. Maybe find out how Cynthia is as a director. We'll get a little dirt on Miss Brown, perhaps. I don't know. We'll find out together. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel. There's no substitute for the power of cable TV advertising. With Solion Cable TV advertising, you can reach your target audience right here in North Central Washington. We understand their viewing habits and can precisely target your customers on great cable networks like these. Call Solion Broadcasting today and let us show you how to put your business message right in front of thousands of prospects at a very affordable price. Solion Broadcasting, 509-888-2020.
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Cashmere. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Where will you be a year from now? You could be working as a medical assistant. The Charter College Medical Assistant Certificate Program gets you work ready in 10 months. Add 5 more months to earn an associate degree. We prepare you with hands-on training and support you after graduation with job search help and interview skills. Institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, Charter has been training healthcare professionals for more than 30 years. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. Bavarian Ice Fest 2019 is this Saturday and Sunday in Front Street in Leavenworth. Bring the family for games, sledding, ice carving, fireworks, and more. Saturday is Bundle Up Fest and the Youth Sports and Activities Fair at Pybus Public Market from 10 to 2. Come for a 5K run, hay rides, a petting zoo, and info about sports, dance, drama, and all things fun for kids in the Wenatchee Valley. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan Kuntz, your host, and my guests are 2 of the many, many leads. I'm going to say that because we're going to give some other people some credit. Connor Sundet is to my immediate left, and Riley Bergan is on my far left. 2 of the cast members of Les Miserables, which opens up the 17th, which is Thursday at the Eastmont High School auditorium, directed by Cynthia Brown, and everybody knows Cynthia. She's very well known in the local theater community, been involved in all kinds of different projects for many, many years. But Tara Abbott, I don't know a lot about Tara. Talk about Tara Abbott.
She's the best. She grounds up all those kids, and she somehow gets a show together. She did it last year too. It was crazy. she just always is in that. If she's not doing music rehearsal with us, she's out in the auditorium doing it. She'll take people aside and work with them. And also outside of the musical too.
Yeah.
She helps me get audition music for Whitworth, and she's helped me with solo and ensemble music. She's just great help, amazing
Great
director.
So you have two directors. Who does what exactly between Miss Abbott and Miss Brown? How those responsibilities divvied up?
So Cynthia is the theater director, and she does like most of the blocking and like where to be and like all of the stage, tells us where set pieces are gonna be and things like that. And Tara does like the music and like how people sound. Like if you're off key, she's gonna let you know. And
sounds like they make a pretty good team.
Yeah, they're
both
dynamic duo.
definitely required for our success.
How would you describe Cynthia's directing style?
She is very demanding, but she knows that we're capable of it. So it's nothing that we can't do.
She's
she's hardcore.
Yeah,
for sure.
But she's fun.
Yeah,
she's fun.
Makes a good show.
You just do what you're supposed to do, and she'll make it a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And you mentioned before, the auditions were back in September. Probably January seemed like forever between prep. But you needed all of that time to put together this show, didn't you?
Yeah,
we did.
It's a huge show. Over 60 cast members, big set pieces. I mean, so much. And the crew is just the best. I mean, trying to push all that stuff on and like having people in the right places. So many set pieces with hardly any room backstage. They're just a great help to have.
Well, talk about some of the crew members, the people that you don't see, but they're out there building sets and changing things during curtain time and stuff. That's hard work.
Yeah, they're like ninjas. Like they try their best not to be seen, and you probably won't see them. You'll be amazed because there'll be a set where it's like rue plumet. It's like a bench and a fence, and then the curtain closes, and then there'll be an entire barricade there. So
it's incredible.
They're absolutely the best. We would fall apart with them.
Yeah.
Now there are other cast members in this production. Some of the other names you want to do some name dropping, Connor? Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, Tara Abbott's son, David Abbott, he's playing the part of Marius, who falls in love with Cosette, played by Audrey Millard, and so they're all lovey-dovey the whole time. And Eponine is played by Araceli Renteria. I can't pronounce the last name very well. And she always is on the side and is always waiting for Marius to come fall in love with her instead, but he never does.
Yes. Then we have Fantine, played by Chloe Forsyth, and we also have Andre Ross, played by Hunter West, which this is his first show ever.
Wow.
Along with Araceli. So
they're doing great.
They're starting off on a pretty good show.
Rehearsals going well?
Oh yeah, I mean it's really coming together. It was a little nervous a couple of weeks ago coming back from break. Our first run through was a little rough because 3 weeks off is, it's gonna do that to you. But
now it's not 3 weeks off; it's 3 days off. As a matter of fact.
But we've got all the tech figured out. It's gonna be awesome.
Have you done a complete run through all the way without anybody stopping and correcting you yet?
We've done a few.
Okay.
And they've gone pretty well. We haven't done any with like the lights and everything. That was on Saturday.
Yeah, we got all that stuff figured out.
But I mean, it's looking good now.
Sounds like most of the cast members were in Little Women last year, so you're all pretty much familiar with each other. Is that the case?
Familiar. We lost a few. People went on. One actually went on to Whitworth. One making music. Taya Ninglefleur. I think she's making music somewhere, being great.
So you're both going to go to Whitworth in Spokane. Are you going to stay active in theater when you get to college? I don't know what kind of theater program they have there. I'm assuming something decent.
Yeah.
I'm going to for sure. I can't speak for Riley.
Yeah, I definitely am going to be involved in their music. As for theater, we'll see how much time I have on my hands. Going to be pretty busy in college.
So you're both seniors. You're both going to go to Whitworth. What are you? I asked these gentlemen this question off the stage, off the camera. I'll ask now, Riley. What's your career plans going forward?
Definitely something in medicine, either pre-med or pre-pharmacy, and then I'll do a residency in the hospital to be a clinical pharmacist, or maybe I'll be a PA. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that.
Dr. Bergan has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money. But is that something getting into medicine? Is that something that's been always kind of there?
Oh yeah, always. Yeah. Since I was a young child, both of my parents are involved in radiology. Like my mom's an X-ray tech, my dad's the director of radiology, and then my grandmother She was an RN in the ER and eventually became the director, but she's retired now.
So it runs in the family.
Runs
then.
in the family, yeah.
Connor, what are your plans?
Actually, I want to mass communications
Okay.
and journalism, so something actually kind of like this. would
There
be
you
nice,
go.
Dan.
I need my job, so don't be stealing my job there. So you want to get into communications?
Yeah, I
Good.
want to. I mean, field work or something would be great. An internship here would be awesome.
Well, you don't get paid a lot, I'll be honest with you right there. But every day is different. I mean, that's the nice thing about this job and this what we've chosen for our careers. I've been in broadcasting for most of my adult life with a couple of little breaks along the way, but every day is different. So it's every day brings something new. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. Les Miserables, tickets are, it's at the Eastmont High School Auditorium. Again, it opens up on this Thursday. They got shows on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and they're off for a week. Then you're back on the 24th, 25th, and 26th. I see there's no matinees, and that's good.
Yeah.
Because I never like doing the 2 shows in one day.
Yeah.
They just never work out.
Oh, that would be rough.
So tickets are available at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. You can also get them online, but they're also available at the Numerica Pack. Opening night, Thursday night. What's it going to be like when the curtain parts and you're doing it? You ready?
Yeah, I'm
so ready.
I'm so excited.
Do you get really
I've been
nervous?
waiting for this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's kind of funny when when you do a live play, or in this case a musical, we need to stress the fact that there's no real spoken dialogue at all. Everything is sung. That's a lot of music. And that means, of course, that the musicians are playing pretty much nonstop, aren't they?
We actually don't have a pit. We have to use a background check.
Which is fine.
We don't have the
You don't have
for
to.
a pit.
It's a lot easier to use a pre-recorded track.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's it's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yes.
It is a
To
lot
do
of work.
this particular show.
Definitely a big commitment.
But Cynthia and Tara would not have said, let's do it without doing it. So that's cool. Are you going to do any other local productions before you head off to Spokane? Anything that you might audition for that's being done locally here? Or is this
Not that I know of. I think this might be it.
Okay, that's cool. By the way, they're not missing any of school because they have late start today at Eastmont High School. It is drama and choir together on this. So you said there's 60 some odd cast members.
Yeah.
And then between set builders and costumers, we didn't mention the costume people.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We've had lots of moms helping out with costumes, and they've just been a godsend. Like,
Mrs. Burns.
So
Teresa.
so many costumes.
Oh yeah, and they're not easy to make, as we mentioned before. This takes place in the 1800s in France, so you gotta everything's got to be right. Even though it takes place in France, nobody's speaking in a French accent, are they? That's an awful lot to ask.
Well, I guess
Yeah. We have our comic relief character Thenardier. He speaks in a funny French accent, and you're gonna
Played by
enjoy
Kobe
him.
Russell. Forgot to mention.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think? And I'll ask you, Connor, because you're the expert. Why do you think Les Mis has been so popular and so timeless? What makes this such a great show?
I think it's just there's so much change, and in Jean Valjean at the beginning, he goes through all this dynamic change in the first 10 minutes of the show, the prologue, but after that he really stays the same, and he's really rooted in his beliefs, and you really feel for that character. But as Mine Javert goes along, you really see the dynamic contrast and change in his character at the beginning when he knows everything is in its place and stars, versus at the end when he doesn't know what to think of life. So I think that's just one of the reasons it's kind of flipped almost, that the antagonist, I want to put quotes on that, is doing through most of the change. And of course, Thenardier is just a timeless comic relief character, so funny. And it's just a beautiful story about the French Revolution.
Yeah.
One last question, because we got about 45 seconds left. Which is better, opening night or closing night? You've both done shows.
That's tough, because you've got all the excitement that's been building up for 4 months for opening night, but then closing night, that's it. And in this case, it could be our last show for quite a while. So I don't know. I think closing night might be.
Well, by closing night, everybody knows
the
their lines.
craziest show.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. Les Mis, January 17th through the 26th, 7 o'clock at the Eastmont High School Auditorium. Tickets are available online at Numerica Pack, or you can just go to the box office and pick them up. Break a leg.
Thank you.
Have fun. Everybody have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.